Hello and welcome to Mr. G Cooks. Today we're making albóndigas. Before you do anything, you want to make sure you wash your vegetables and your potatoes. Make sure they're thoroughly clean. The next thing you're going to want to do is you want to peel them. I've seen this dish with the peel and the potato still. Nothing wrong with it. Just make sure you wash it thoroughly. I like to peel my potatoes, and I like to peel everything. The onion, I like to take the outer layer out. That way I don't get any of the outer hard part or flaky part. For this, I'm just going to use half an onion. I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to dice it. I don't want the pieces to be too small because you want them to be visible in your soup. For the squash, you can cut it any way you want. I like to just cut circles. If the squash is too big, you can cut the circles in half and just do that instead. In this one, I did halves and I did circles. You're also going to use celery. You want to clean the celery, take off all the greens and the leafy greens, and take all the parts that are brown off. I normally cut the edges. And this, like I said, you can cut it whichever way you want. I like to cut them in smaller pieces because I have kids and they don't like to have big pieces of celery. I also used mint. You want mint for this recipe. You can decide how much you put in there. I used as much as you see in this video that I'm cutting from my garden. I also like to use a little bit of rosemary. It gives it a nice touch. Here are all the things that I'm going to use for this soup. I have carrots, celery, diced tomatoes. I have half an onion, and I like to use 3 cloves of garlic for flavor. I have pepper, I have salt, I have chicken bouillon, I have my Mexican squash, potatoes, and I have the mint and the rosemary. I'm also going to be using a 1/3 cup of rice and oregano. Half of it is going to go on the beef and half is going to go on the soup. And last but not least, I have tomato paste. I'm going to add all the ingredients into the pot and set it aside for later. I'm going to put all the ingredients in there, and I'm going to be adding all of the seasonings that go with it. After I put all the things in there, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon, and that goes on the vegetables. Next, like I said before, I'm going to add half of the oregano into the vegetables, and half is going to go on the ground beef. Now we're going to be putting 2 pounds of beef into the ground beef into the crock pot. I like to do this because I do not want to get 2 bowls dirty without needing to. You can just mix everything in there and cook it in there. Now I'm going to go to season everything. I'm going to add a tablespoon of salt for the vegetables, and I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt for the beef, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon, and then I'm going to apply the rest of the oregano. It's going to go directly on the beef. I'm also going to add the 1/3 of a cup of rice. Now that everything's together in the crock pot, I am going to mix it all together. You're really going to have to mix it up really well, because if you don't, you're going to have spots that are either going to have too much salt or too much pepper, and you don't want that. You want to just work that ground beef until it's completely mixed. You want that rice to be completely mixed in there with the beef. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to start forming them. I like to just just estimate whichever size you want. You want to be consistent, and just roll them, put pressure and roll them. They don't have to be perfect. Just make sure they're compacted and that they're well rolled so that they don't fall apart. Now that it's all rolled up, we want to add the water. The water, as I've said in previous videos, when you use this type of pot, electric pressure cooker, you want to go up to the line or below the line. You never want to go over. Safety first. Once I've added all the water, what I'm going to do next is put the tomato paste in there. As you can see, I had a little mishap with my tomato paste. Then I'm going to put the mint and the rosemary. Of course, I washed it before I put it in there. You always want to. Next, I'm going to set it to pressure cook, and I forgot the lid. I put the lid, set it to pressure cook, and I set it up for 45 minutes. Now let me show you what it looks like. It's going to be really greasy, okay? But it's good. Don't worry about it. Here, I'm going to take the meatballs out one by one and put them in the vegetables first. Now, you don't want to just grab it and pour it, because they'll splash, and number one, you can get hurt, you can get burnt, and number two, you'll make a mess. So first that's why you first put the meatballs in the vegetables, and then you put the juice in there. And you might ask, well, why didn't I just cook everything together? Well, the reason being is because then you get soggy vegetables. The potatoes are really, soggy, they fall apart. The squash falls apart, everything falls apart, and you don't want that. That is why you just want to cook it this way, and then add the juice later and boil it for about 15 to 20 minutes. Like I said, carefully without burning yourself. You pour the soup into the pot with all your meatballs and your vegetables. Once again, safety first. Make sure you have mitts. Next, you turn on your stove. You're going to leave the meatballs, like I said, 15 to 20 minutes, and you're going to just turn it on all the way. This is what it looks like once it's boiling. You want to keep an eye so it doesn't overflow. At this point, you can adjust salt. You want to stir it around a little bit, and once it's ready, you put it into a bowl. Once again, guys, I urge you to be careful when you're pouring hot soup. You want to make sure that you put a little bit of everything in there. This is what it looks like once it's served. I like to add a little bit of lemon juice. Right here we have the diced chipotles that I mentioned in my other videos, with which I make my creamy chipotle sauce. Go watch the video too. It's really good. And I like avocado in my soup. Not necessarily my soup. I like to make myself a little taco with it. You roll it up, put some salt in it, and you eat it with your soup. It's delicious. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope that you guys do this soup. You make it at home. And if you find something different that you did, let me know. Let me know in the comments. If you like this video, share, like, and subscribe. Thank you.